I'm a little bit of a collector, and if you follow me on Twitter, it's apparent that I'm an avid garage sale hunter that's always on the lookout for video game items. And within my past finds, I've come across a few Gamecubes having memory cards included with them. That's when a light bulb came on in my head. What if I made a video visiting complete strangers' towns in Animal Crossing for the GameCube? Simple video, but I don't want to do just some boring tour of a stranger's town. I wanted to make it a little bit interesting by adding in a little game of bingo, Animal Crossing style. If I win, I get to go treat myself with a Cold Stone Animal Crossing ice cream cup, and if I lose, then I have to accept that I'm a failure and I will never amount to anything. The rules of bingo are simple, 5 in a row and I get an ice cream. I have 2 memory cards with Animal Crossing saves on them, so technically I get 2 cards to fill out. I didn't want to have everything be villager slots on the cards either, so I decided to add in my own ideas, such as house and Nook's Cranny upgrades, NES games, what type of fruit they have, do they have boy or girl characters, and if they have a full collection for the museum. All of this plus at least 50 villagers' names gave me the power to create the Animal Crossing bingo cards. Now, one issue I could have with this is if either of the saves have barely played the game, then I'm pretty much screwed. I threw all this information into a few random name and card generators and was resulted with some pretty decent cards, I guess. Here are my cards, and I'm hoping this doesn't fail. Starting off with memory card number 1, we're greeted by our first villager, Rocco. Apparently, at this moment, we're known as Donovan in a town called Houston. How original. Coming out of the house, we can see that we do in fact have a boy character, so that already gets us 1 hit on the card. Going straight for Nook's Cranny to see how much progress they have, and yeah, Nookington's is nowhere to be found on my card, so that's kind of unlucky. Running back to the house, I can see that this player managed to upgrade the house with a basement and 2nd floor, which is really nice, and also a punch on the card for the biggest house. Too bad there weren't any NES games in this one, or really there weren't many furnishings at all, to be honest. I was hoping that all 15 houses would be in the town for a full villager list, but sadly there was only 13. Paying each villager a visit though, we had of course Rocco from the menu screen, Carmen the mouse, Emerald the frog, which is a punch on the card, Petunia the cow, Rizzo, another mouse, Nibbles the squirrel, Chevry the goat, Bob the cat, Nosegay the anteater, which is another punch, Wolfgang the wolf, Samson, another damn mouse, Ed the horse, and Ribbot. And no, Ribbot, there hasn't been any new Nintendo game since Animal Crossing for the GameCube released in 2001. Sadly, out of the 13 houses, we only managed to get 2 punches, but that's better than none. As I was talking to some of the villagers, they mentioned that they moved in from a town called Katy, which worries me because that's another very original town name like Houston. So unless Donovan had a friend that lived in Katy, Texas, and they would just swap memory cards to visit each other, then I hope that I don't have Katy on the other memory card. I did some last checks to see if there were any fruit trees I needed and checked the other houses just in case there was any hidden NES games, but these houses were to no avail. On the first memory card, we managed to get 4 punches, and I am on to the next one in hopes to at least finish off 1 row. Popping in the second memory card, I was greeted by Patty the cow, which is a great start because it's already another punch for the cards. Pressing A on her dialogue though, I realized that Katy was the name of the second memory card, which kinda turned into a bad start. We were now known as either Turtle or Sam from Katy. Both players were boys, and coming out of the house I was greeted by this. The first house for Sam had only upgraded the first floor and basement, which is technically a punch on the card because I put 2nd floor upgrade, but it's sort of kind of a choice when you're choosing to upgrade, and you know, it's in the name of ice cream. Turtle's house was still a shack, which wasn't on the card, sadly. Pulling up the map, I was very devastated to see that there were only 7 villager houses, but I didn't lose hope yet because I know there are still Nook's Cranny to check, which was just Nookway, so don't no punch for that. Some of the fruit trees, which were cherries like the last memory card, and pears, which is something that I can punch off of the cards. And by checking the houses already, there weren't any NES games, so I wasn't even going to worry about that. But now, it was time to check out the 7 villagers' houses. We had Patty from the menu screen, Admiral the bird, Olivia the cat, who wasn't home, Sprocket the robot ostrich, Kitty the cat, Goldie the dog, And the final villager that could win us this whole thing was goddamn Nosegay. Just like the last memory card. I wasn't even going to check anything else because I already knew this memory card had barely been played on. And I'm sure I just picked it up at the same garage sale and didn't even realize it. Both towns having a total of 7 punches, which could have gotten me 5 in a row, and we sorta got close as well by only being 2 spaces away. But you know what? I won't let that stop me from getting my ice cream. I'm an adult, so I can do adult things. I don't need some digital bingo cards to tell me to go buy some ice cream. Honestly though, I think I probably should have set up the cards using different generators, but it was already a lot of work, so here's me eating some ice cream. I hope you enjoyed the video.